We're looking at, all the ransomware attacks just in the last couple of weeks, extortion attacks, the theft of NSA tools in 2019 have catapulted layman hackers or attackers to be more sophisticated, and sophisticated attackers maybe to have some potential nation state capabilities. The mere fact that Tim Brown was not fired sends a huge message to the industry, because typically that wasn't always the case. And the other thing I found with Sudhakar, the CEO at SolarWinds, was I was impressed with his amount of transparency and openness, and also sharing the lessons learned, opening the kimono so that others can rise. And the other fact is Kevin Mandian at FireEye, it wasn't like, oh, they got hacked and that's bad, or we got hacked and that's bad, but more about, we're going to share with the community everything that we know and the pain so that it doesn't happen to them. It wasn't always like that. Before, I remember 10 years ago, CISOs were afraid to collaborate with other CISOs and share information, afraid the general counsel might get involved. It was just different. I'm seeing, not only within the industry, but with CISA and the government and the great leadership that Ali Mayorkas is bringing on with the other, cybersecurity, Chris Inglis, Rob Joyce at NSA, Ann Neuberger at the NSC. So are you feeling and seeing what I'm sensing on the collaboration part? Vandana?
Manna, you're on mute.
Okay. I think this is a very vague question to answer. But again, from my perspective, collaboration, if I mean, is that there will be failures that will happen. But how quickly we can rise from it is one important aspect that we all are learning. As you mentioned, that the person was not asked to leave the job because they understand that these things will happen. Mm-hmm, these things can happen with anyone. Even if we talk about any top-notch company, it is happening with them. The data leaks, talk about privacy, talk about governance issues, talk about credential stuffing and whatnot. Even we just saw that there was a huge company which got, there were certain issues with the software bill of materials last year, which was a huge issue. And I think CISOs literally and CTOs literally had sleepless nights because of that. So those things will be there. It's how we learn from them and then see what can come in the future and be ready with it.
Mm-hmm. I'm personally excited about it, and I think you touched on it very well. Nikhil, we have a couple minutes left. Your sense, what are you feeling with the community, the overall community of cybersecurity?
I think so. The good side, I always look for an opportunity in a calamity. And to your point here, Robert, what I'm finding out is that all these attacks are kind of bringing the community more together. And, it's a good sign. It's, incentivized people's behavior. So having not to fire the CISO was a very strong signal to the community to be there together, as well as to the bad guys that, hey, at the end of the day, we are here. Typically, in the old days, you will fire the CISO and things like that. And that's kind of divide and conquer, if you will, right? So now people are here together. We were actually interviewing a panelist at one of the largest newspaper session, who's again a distinguished co-author over here. And he was sharing when they were migrating their entire data center to public cloud. And they are like the leading newspaper in North America, and some of the challenges that they had when they were doing the migration journey. And the same thing happened, the problem happens. However, the leader over there, he actually put the person who made this mistake, because it was not an intentional mistake, and had him solve the problem. And, when you do that, then miracle happens, because then you know that the leadership is supporting you. And then we are all together. So again, from the community aspect, I haven't seen in my 25 years that how any particular community has come together so much as it has happened very recently, especially after these attacks in SolarWinds and all. So it has brought up the community very close.
Yeah, to both of your points, no one is immune. As we close out, Nikhil, you, in building Armor Code and the thought of Armor Code and Purple Book, what I loved about some of the strategies that you implemented was the number of people that you interviewed. It was massive. Would you talk about that?
Yeah, so it's very important to, solving the right problem, and especially as an entrepreneur, you have to be kind of paranoid. There was importance of understanding the problem, but solving the right problem in the right way. So kind of interviewed more than around 200, 250 people, right? Before kind of formulating with the right idea, spoke to, Walmarts and Facebooks of the world, all the way to, startups. Because it's very important to have the diverse. So talking from financial industry leaders to, healthcare industry leaders. And the more you talk, and then that helps you build a very common and generic solution, if you will. And again, as part of talking to several different leaders and, going all the way from commercial to, ones of the world who are in the open source community, because again, there is no point of reinventing the wheel. And, one is again, very humble. There's a lot of good material which is out there. OWASP as a community is doing very well. And in fact, we will be sharing some of those pointers on the Purple Book community here. And that really helped me understand that, where and what problem to solve. And at the same time, as I felt during that research that, community and this problem is way bigger than I am. And that's where, the community started, because, the problem cannot just be solved with just one particular problem. It's people, process, and technology, and knowledge and awareness. So that's where, if you will, the Purple Book is my calling. And, again, I'm blessed to be surrounded by leaders like you who are giving, like Robert, you have like so much immense experience with the, NSAs or the other three-letter agencies, and that kind of perspective to, open source to, commercial. So again, I feel very blessed and fortunate to, be surrounded by myself with all these community members.
So 30 seconds. Was there any advice that sticks in your mind right now as you interviewed 250 people that really made an impact on you?
The number one advice was like, think from the customer perspective, right? Don't try to build something to kind of sell. What's the problem? As a CEO, you should be a problem solver, right? So understand the deep problem and then solve it. So that has been the key mantra here, if you will.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you.